So I'm in two minds what video to do right now. We have two options, or three options, as it is right this second. Because all these will be done, it's just whether or not I record them now or not. We have trivia facts, trivia on the bog, so a little book to read on the toilet, where I can give you some fun facts. I'm thinking I'll leave that one for today. Then we have that is Victor Moses. Knew straight away. Sorry guys, they've got this thing on the TV behind me where they're like, who is this player? They've got a list of clubs he played for. I knew as soon as it's in Palace and Spartak Moscow. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Right, so we have that. Or we have the Fantasy Football League that we're doing. I could do an update on that one. Or, failing that, the last option I have right now is a UFC preview of upcoming fights that I'm looking forward to this year. I'm thinking UFC because we have the big card on Saturday. If you do like my content, guys, I've just done a video on my other channel. It's not ASMR, but it is previewing UFC 270. I'll put a link somewhere. It's called That Coffee Bloke. So if you want to go and check that out, please feel free to, and hit that thumbs up and subscribe. It helps me out, and you get a lot more content from me over there as well as on here. Right, so we're going to have a little look at some of the upcoming cards in the UFC that have been announced so far. This early as a Sunday morning in the UK, we have UFC 270, and that is headlined by Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane, Brandon Moreno, and Davison Figueiredo is the co-main event. I'm looking forward to 3 fights on this card. Ngannou, Gane, what a fight it'll be. 2 former sparring partners going head to head for the biggest title in the UFC, the heavyweight title of the world. Ngannou, I don't want to say too much about this card because I've just done a 15-minute video on my other channel talking about it. Let's just say I'm picking the champion to retain here. If you want to find out why, head over there. Moreno, I think, retains, and Michel Pereira wins. That's my predictions. But if you want to see a bit of a 15-minute video on that card, head over to my other channel. Let's go to the next event because I don't know who's on this one. So we have UFC Fight Night, Shaka Manson v Sean Strickland. That is coming up on the February the 6th. Now I heard an interview with Sean Strickland a while back on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour. The man is a nutter. I mean, you get a lot of crazy people in the UFC. I mean, you gotta be pretty crazy to step in there and get punched in the head. But this man is a legit psycho. He openly admits he's had fantasies about going out and killing people. That he'd love to, I don't know if he'd love to, don't quote me on this, but he said along the lines of, I often just get the urge to go out and kill someone. I mean, he's a nutter. So I hope Hermanson wins that one. Jack the Joker Hermanson. I'd be lying if I said there's anything else on this card that I'm looking forward to. I don't know anyone else on there. Unfortunately, with some of these cards early on this year anyway, I think we're going to get some big fights with some very average cards. So UFC 271 February the 13th. I mean, this is a perfect example as it is right now, unless they add anyone to it. We have a rematch between Israel Adesanya taking on Robert Whittaker, the man he beat for the title. So Adesanya is the middleweight champion. He took the title from Whittaker about 2 or 3 years ago. This is the rematch I've been waiting for. this card is, or two people, Casey O'Neill, don't know much about, but I've heard of it, and Alex Perez. Now Alex Perez, oh, he's interesting. Alex Perez, this is his second fight in the UFC, I believe. I'm just having a little look. That's if I've got the right guy. I haven't, I've got the wrong bloody bloke. My bad. Yeah, I've got the wrong man, sorry. There is a bloke, I think, by the same name. And he's the only man to ever beat Izzy, I believe, in a kickboxing match. And he's in Adesanya's division. He's just come up recently from another company. But yeah, I got the wrong bloke there, I apologise. So, there's just nothing on this card other than the Izzy match against Whittaker that I'd be looking forward to. I think Izzy retains. I mean, he may have got a bit complacent as of late. His last fight was against Marvin Vittori beat him comfortably. Before that, it was the loss to Jan Blachowicz, which he was easily outclassed in terms of weight and strength. And Izzy lost that one. That's when he went up to light heavyweight to take on Blachowicz. We soon see what happened to Jan in the next fight when he went up against Glover and got beat easily, got submitted. So I think Izzy needs a good fight because Bobby Knuckles, as people call Whittaker, has won his last few fights. He's on a bit of a streak again. He's looking good and looking fresh. But I'll be back in Adesanya to retain here. Then we have UFC Fight Night. I mean, what's this all about? It comes to something when there are bigger names on a Fight Night card than there are on a main card, like a UFC 271. So February 19th, just a week or so later, we have RDA, Rafael Dos Anjos, up against Rafael Fiziev. Now I've heard of Fiziev. I couldn't tell you anything about him, but I've heard of him. We have Ilya Latifi, another man I've seen a few times in the heavyweight division, up against Alexander Romanov. And we also have Johnny Walker on this card, though his opponent has not been announced yet. But straight away, 3 fights I've heard of, and all could have been on that UFC 271 card. Really strange. So RDA, his last fight was last year when he beat Paul Felder over 5 rounds. Before that he'd lost to Michael Chiesa via decision. And before that he lost to Leon Edwards and beat Kevin Lee. So RDA, former champion, lost to Usman and Colby before that. A little bit up and down, if we're being honest. Wins some, loses some. At one point he couldn't be beaten, RDA. I don't know much about his opponent, Fiziev, or Fiziev, let's have a look. So, last year he beat Brad Riddell, that's impressive. He also beat Bobby Green. What else has he done? I didn't actually watch that Riddell match, I saw a little bit of it, but that was in December. Before that he beat Moicano, but yeah, it's quite impressive, this bloke. And Mark Diakiese, so he's on like a 4 or 5 winning streak at the minute, or even a 5 fight winning streaks. Before that he beat Alex White. Right then, so Fiziev is no man to be messed with, and RDA with his up and down record at the minute, I would not be surprised if he loses. RDA, don't be shocked if he does. Then we have UFC Fight Night, Benil Dariush against Makhachev Islam. Oh, Islam is a bad man. And this is 26th of February. Islam Makhachev is a future champion at lightweight, and I don't care who stands in his way. He is like a protege of he is a bad man. If anyone's seen the fight against Dan Hooker, I know Dan Hooker came off he literally fought about 3 weeks earlier or something like that. Had a very quick turnaround for the fight against Islam, but Islam just took him down and dominated him for the whole fight. But I didn't say the whole fight, I think it lasted like 1 round, I think, or 2 at most. But again, on that card, I've heard of Misha Shurkanov, but that's it. These cards are so weak. But Benil Darush, he's done alright. He beat Tony Ferguson, didn't he? Not so long ago, let's have a look. Last year he beat Tony Ferguson in his last fight in May. Before that he beat Carlos Diego Ferreira. I was surprised with the Ferguson win, but at the same time not that surprised. Tony isn't all that anymore. Lost to Oliveira, lost to Benil. Would not be surprised if he loses his next fight, Tony. Then we have UFC 272, 5th of March. Colby, this has just been announced in the last week. Colby Covington against Jorge Masvidal. Now, I was not a big Colby fan. I've seen the first fight against Usman. Seen him against Robbie Lawler. He beat up Robbie Lawler pretty bad. And then I've seen him again in the rematch against Usman. He did a lot better. I was quite surprised. Jorge, I don't know, I think he's a lot of talk. I think he's been living off that flying knee to Ben Askren for too long now. I'll be backing Colby to win this fight. It's a grudge match if it goes ahead. If neither fighter pulls out. The only one I can see pulling out is Masvidal. He pulled out the Leon Edwards fight. But yeah, he's been living off a victory over Ben Askren for too long. Ben Askren lost to Jake Paul, bear in mind. So I'll be looking at Colby to win this fight. We're also going to have Bryce Mitchell on that card. That's good. Bryce fucking nasty Mitchell against Edson Barboza. Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun, that fight will. Other than that, Jessica I against somebody I've never heard of. Marina Rodriguez against somebody I've never heard of. So the Barboza and Bryce Mitchell, yes. And Colby Masvidal, yes. Other than that, I'm happy to leave the rest of them fights. Let's see what else we got, guys. But yeah, if you do want to see my predictions and my thoughts on this weekend's card, head over to my other channel where I've talked about it for like 15 minutes this morning. We then have 12th of March, UFC Fight Night, Thiago Santos against Magomed Ankalaev. I think Ankalaev wins that one. Co-main event is Marlon Moraes against Song Yudong. What a cool name, Song Yudong. Then we have another fight night card with 2 people I've never even heard of. Shamil Abdurakhimov against Sergei Pavlovich. I might have heard of his name, I'm not too sure. And then UFC Fight Night on the end of March is Jan Blachowicz against Alexander Rakic. Bit of an Eastern European thing going on here. Rakic is Croatian, Blachowicz is Polish. Co-main is Askar Askarov against Kai Kara France, who's very impressive. And I'm looking forward to seeing Kai Kara France fight again. Then we have Matt Brown against Brian Barberena. So yeah, the main event and co-main event should be fun there. And that's as far as we've got, guys. But there are some better fights than that coming up. There's a lot of good fights being talked about. Usman against Leon Edwards eventually. Edwards has been deserving of a title fight for ages now. We might eventually get one if the UFC deem it necessary to grant him one. this weekend's fight. If Ngannou retains, does he go back in? Does he walk away? We all know he won the John Jones fight. He came out yesterday somewhere and said, look, UFC ain't interested in making that fight. After this, I want to fight Tyson Fury in a boxing match. One of the problems I feel with, I'm not a big fan of Jake Paul. I honestly believe most of his opponents are taking dives. I believe that. But the fact that this bloke is doing what he's doing is making UFC fighters, from what I can see on the outside, think, oh, hang on, we're paid so little, yet we could make so much in boxing. Why don't we step on over there for a bit? Let's see what it's like. He's muddying the waters too much in the UFC and in boxing. You know, you're getting bloody Tyson Fury talking about his brother fighting a YouTube fighter. What's that all about? You get talks of, you know, I started with Conor McGregor taking on Floyd Mayweather in boxing, and it's just gone downhill ever since, really, in my opinion. You're going to end up with Ngannou, the heavyweight champion of the world in the UFC, stepping away from the UFC to take on the heavyweight champion of the world in another sport. In their profession, Tyson Fury, who is the heavyweight champion of the world, he's the best boxer in the world at heavyweight. And Ngannou is going to step into the ring, not octagon, and box this man. The only thing I can say Ngannou has going in his favour at all is his fight in the UFC. He does not throw kicks, or very, very, very rarely. He's very much a puncher. He's got one submission victory in the UFC, which I've never seen. I need to watch on YouTube. But he doesn't rely on kicks. Maybe he throws a few knees every so often, but he's more of a puncher. He's not a wrestler either. He's never going to try and take you down. He's not interested in that. So maybe he has that going in his favour, to give him a slight chance against Fury, but on paper I don't see how Ngannou stops Tyson Fury. But it's funny, ain't it, how these UFC fighters are always chasing the money. I'll go to boxing, I'll go to boxing. Never the boxer saying, I'll go to the UFC or into MMA. That rarely ever happens. So it always feels to me as that the odds are in the boxer's corner, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's my little mini UFC preview. Apologies. In the past I've given much more in-depth previews, but the cards are that weak. There's no point. As we get closer to some of the cards and they get a bit more fleshed out, more fights added, I will then give you more in-depth opinions on it. But if you want to see a 15-minute video on this weekend's main event and co-main event, head over to my other channel, That Coffee Bloke. Take it easy, guys. See you later.